Hi, and Happy New Year. Ah, crap. I pointed the fireworks the wrong way again. As much as I enjoy going into turbo nerd mode with topics like projectile differences and axis size indices, sometimes it's nice to partake in some good old-fashioned Armageddon. Nuclear missiles, one of two superweapons available in this game. It is a classic amongst RTS games and even those of other genres. Ion cannons and such may be more visually pleasing and imaginative, but you can't deny the raw and simple efficiency of a well-placed and well-split atom. And naturally, machines wired for war is no slouch in these matters either. Nukes work a little like this. You build a silo, it takes 360 seconds to load up the rocket, and then you just point it at something and watch it go up in flames. Simple enough, but sometimes one nuke is just not enough. Sometimes you need to prove a point, that you don't fuck around, and that you're willing to go out of your way, inconveniencing yourself and your economy, just to tell your opponent to piss right the fuck back to Stone Age where he belongs. A quick look through the PARM data file shows us that the nuclear missile is a separately defined weapon type, which can be modified like any other, which includes the burst parameter. If you don't remember, burst defines how many projectiles are shot out of the gun at the point of firing, and at what interval between each salvo. Normally this is set to one rocket at a sub-second interval, but changing the interval does not do anything for the nuclear silo. But the amount of rockets fired does change. So, put on your lead-lined hazmats, it's time to get to work. After doing some tests, I must issue a warning. Do not go above 890 rockets. Why such a specific number? Well, the reason is very simple actually. The game's engine is simply not built for handling any more rockets exploding simultaneously. Perhaps if the shots could be spaced out by the burst interval, it would be possible to increase the hard limit of mutually assured destruction, but strictly simultaneous detonation, not a chance. But as we figured out, burst interval doesn't work, so that's not an option. Going above this limit will crash the game and make it very annoying to close it via task manager. Alright, for this clip I got Fraps open here to help us see the frame rate, and well, as you can see, we're dipping into seconds per frame speed, which is impressively slow and only a small step above minutes per frame and the fabled the shithole speeds. The amount of destruction here is so great that it keeps the affected area lit up for about 10-15 seconds. Can't tell exactly because the lag is too strong to work with. It throws my readings off significantly. And to be honest with you, I kinda don't want to do research on this. I don't really care if the subatomic particles of my enemies care if their graves are lit up nicely. Okay, so that was pretty hot, but there's a few things on my mind that need to be answered. First, can we shoot multiple salvos safely? And if so, just how many? Second, just how much damage are we dealing here? Third, is this kind of damage even practical, or are we just blowing shit up for no reason? Well, I can answer that first one right away. You can't. Our AAV, absolute Armageddon value, so to say, is a very strict 890 simultaneous nukes at any stage of life and not just in detonation. Meaning that if you were to try and launch a second salvo of nukes too early, the game breaks. God damn it. In either case, multiple salvos just don't work because we go above that 890 limit. Smaller size salvos could potentially work, but just like when shopping for pickles, I don't care for smaller baby size portions. I want the big shit because I'm a big lad. The second and third, on the other hand, though, this is where things get a little complicated. A nuke by default does 750 damage, which translates at a ratio of 1:1 on any unit or building that has no armor. 890 nukes would do a whopping 667,500 damage, but this is actually impractical to use due to it being, well, at the very edge of the game's limits. So we gotta reduce the salvo by 1 nuke, which gives us a devilish 666,750 damage per salvo of 889 nukes. This amount of damage translates to roughly 8 Blue Race's controller cores that can be destroyed in a single shot, each of which are at 8,000 HP and 80,000 armor with none of the coolant nodes broken, with a little bit on the top to spare for stragglers. Holy fuck, that is a lot of damage. If you were able to build a nuclear silo at the final mission of the game, you would be able to win it in just a matter of minutes. So why don't we try to visualize these numbers, huh? Alright, well, first of all, and I understand this isn't gonna be a very good test at all, can we blow up 8 controller cores in one shot? I know what you're thinking, how the hell are we gonna do that? There's only one of them in the game. Well, with a little bit of magic, we find out that surprisingly enough, we can, without any adjustments necessary. I'm not sure how we're avoiding the breaking point of our absolute Armageddon value here, but hey, it works, so I can't complain. The problem with this test though is that it's 8 separate cores of 8k HP, 80k armor each, so the same amount of damage is applied equally on all targets. So it's not like there's damage fall off the further out you are from the epicenter. So we need to try this differently, which is to say, we gotta buff the core. Can we blow up the controller core that is 8 times stronger? What exactly is 8 times stronger anyway? Well, we're looking at a core that has 64,000 HP and 640,000 armor. Surprisingly yet again, no. The core survives with 37,250 HP left to spare, which is no small amount given, but seeing as the armor is completely depleted, it would be a lot easier to destroy it by ground troops from there. Still, the resilience of armor is incredible here and naturally deserves a closer look in another video. Let's not get distracted here. Seems like you'd need to either up your dosage by 1 extra core or have the core itself be just a little weaker. What would happen if we hit a gorilla with this much damage? Well, what? Who asked this? Whatever. I don't see any issue in dunking on our favorite memester and punching bag as per usual. But I'm sure you understand that nothing interesting will happen here, right? He's just gonna explode. He doesn't have that much HP on him or anything. Not even a lead-lined armor plate or anything. They really cheaped out on him during assembly. Oh shit.